Hi learners, is glad to see you in Krishna's space. Today is the day 49 of our 300 days DSA journey. So it's time for our today's problem. Let's understand it. So today's problem is next greater element part 1. So let's first understand the next greater element. The next greater element of some element x in an array is the first greater element that is to the right of x in the same array. So basically here we have given a two arrays nums1 and nums2 where nums1 is a subset of nums2, means all the elements which are present in nums1 will be present in nums2. And in this problem we need to find the next greater element in nums2 in which the elements are from nums1. And if there is no next greater element, then we are going to return -1. And in the answer we have to return an array. So let's understand this problem by taking the examples. So in example 1, as we can see, we have given two arrays nums1 and nums2, and in the output we have written an array in which the element are -1, 3, -1. So now let's understand how this answer has come. So the first element of nums1 is 4, and if we are going to search 4 in nums2, so we are going to find it at the position of at second index, and then we have to find the next greater element. So as we can see, after 4 there is no greater element than 4, and that's why -1 has come here. Thereafter we are going to take 1, and in nums2 1 is present at 0th index, and after that the next greater element is 3. So that's why 3 is here. Thereafter 2, and as you can see in nums2, after 2 there is no element. That's why they have written -1. Same in example 2 as well. We have given two arrays and the output is 3 and -1, because after 2 the next greater element is 3, and after 4 there is no element. That's why they have written -1. So now let's understand how I approach this problem. So the way I have explained example 1, that's how I have approached this problem. So basically first I am going to take the element from nums1 and then I am going to search it in nums2, and then we are going to take the next greater element and put it into the answer. So as you can see in the code, first I have created an answer list which we have to return, and thereafter I have run a loop. And in this loop, as you can see, I have created two variables ng and target. In ng, we are going to put the next greater element of the particular element. So currently it is -1, because if we are not going to find out any next greater element, then we have to return the -1. And then the second variable is target, which is currently false, because this is going to point out if you have found the element in nums2 or not, because after that we are going to find the next greater element. Thereafter I have run a loop which is nested loop. In nested loop we run a loop inside a loop. So that's what I am doing here. In the second loop I am comparing the element from nums2 with the element from nums1. If they are equal, then we are going to say we have got our target, and we are going to make target as true. And let's say if it is not, then we are going to get into the elif block. Here as you can see, I have written elif target. That means if my target will going to be true, then we are going to get into this block. Otherwise we are going to get into the next run. And let's say my target is true, then we are going to get into this block. And in this block we are going to check if my value from nums2 is greater than the value from nums1. So if it is greater than, then we are going to put the value at ng, and we are going to come out from this loop, and then we are going to put the ng into the answer. So now let's take the example 1 to understand it more clearly. So in the first run we are going to get 4, and currently in my ng we have -1 and my target is false also. And thereafter we will go into the second loop. In the second loop, we are going to take the first element from nums2 and going to compare it with my I, which is currently 4. So here 1 is not equal to 4, then we are going to come at elif block, and currently elif is false, so we are going to go forward, and now we have j as 3. Again they are not equal, so we will go into the elif block. Again we are going to move forward because target is currently false. And now we got 4, which is equal to the I, because I is 4 currently. So that means we are going to get into the if block and our target will be true. Thereafter we are going to get 2, which is of course not equal to 4. So thereafter we will get into the elif block because this time target is true. Now we are going to check if my j, which is currently 2, is greater than my I, and I is currently 4, which is not. So we are going to move forward, and as we have completed all the elements from my nums2, then we are going to come out from this loop. So now we are going to put ng, which is currently -1, into my answer. Thereafter we will get into the second loop, and currently my I is 1, and ng will again be -1, target will be false, and again we are going to get into the second loop. And now in the first run my j is equal to 1, which is equal to I, because currently my I is 1. So now my target will be true. And in the second loop I will get 3, and 3 is not equal to I, so we are going to get into the elif block. And currently my target is true, so we are going to get inside the block, and we are going to check if my j is greater than I. Currently my j is 3 and my I is 1, so we will get inside the if block, and now my ng will become 3. And then we are going to come out from this loop, and we are going to append ng, which is currently 3, into the answer. In the third run we are going to get I as a 2. Again ng has become -1, target has become false. And we get to the loop. In the first run we are going to get j as 1, which is not equal to 2. So we will get into elif block, but we will not get inside it because target is false. Then we are going to go forward. In the second run we are going to get j as a 3. Again it is not same. Then we are going to go forward. Then in the next iteration we will get j as a 4, which is not same as I. So we will go forward, and in the next run we will get j as a 2, which is equal to I. And now my target will be the true. But as we have traversed through all elements, we are going to come out from this loop, and we are going to append ng, which is currently -1, into my answer. And in the last we are going to return answer, which is -1, 3 and -1. So this is how I have solved this problem. If you guys have any other solution of it, do write it on comment. And thank you so much for watching this video and staying with me.